Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into something that's been generating a lot of buzz lately, Agentic AI.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's definitely a hot topic.
So we're all pretty familiar with AI, like when Spotify suggests new music or Amazon recommends products you might like. But Agentic AI, this seems to be like the next evolution. It's not just about, responding to your commands or like making suggestions. It's more like having a personal assistant.
Yeah, I would say it's less about just, giving it a command and getting a response. It's more like having a really, really smart assistant who can kind of anticipate your needs. Almost like it can read your mind in a way.
Okay, so to kick things off, can we just kind of define agentic AI? What is it
Oh,
exactly?
well, think of it this way. Traditional AI is kind of like following a recipe,
Okay,
right? You have step-by-step instructions and you follow them precisely.
got it.
But agentic AI is more like having a master chef who can look in your fridge, see what ingredients you have, and then whip up an amazing meal based on what they know you like.
Yeah.
So it's not just about following a set of rules. It's about understanding your preferences, your goals, and then figuring out the best way to achieve them.
So it's more proactive, more intuitive.
Exactly.
So how does it actually work? What makes it so different from the AI we're already using?
Well, there are a few key things that set it apart. First, there's intent prediction.
Okay.
Imagine let's say you're planning a birthday party. Agentic AI would analyze all sorts of data, like your past party planning behavior, who you've invited, what kind of food you've ordered, the decorations you chose, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It also consider like your current situation, like your budget and how much time you have to plan.
Right.
And then based on all of that, it would predict what kind of party you're probably aiming for this time.
So it's gathering all these clues and trying to figure out your ultimate goal.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a detective, sort of piecing together all the pieces of the puzzle to understand what you're trying to achieve.
Wow, I like that.
Then there's reinforcement learning, where the AI actually learns from every interaction.
Okay.
So let's say the AI suggests a venue for your party. If you book it, the AI is like, okay, I was right on target. But if you reject it, it adjusts its understanding of your preferences.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the more you use it, the more personalized it gets.
It gets to know you better over time.
Exactly.
Now, you also mentioned something called multi-agent systems.
Oh, yeah.
What are those?
Basically, it's like having a team of specialized AIs all working together.
Okay.
So one agent might focus on like understanding your personal preferences, while another focuses on market trends, or maybe like what's trending on social media.
Got it.
And by combining their expertise, they can get a really comprehensive understanding of you and what you need.
That's wild. So are we already seeing examples of this in the real world, or is this still kind of like a futuristic concept?
Oh, no, it's definitely happening.
Okay.
I mean, those product recommendations you get on Amazon that are like eerily accurate,
Right.
that's a form of agentic AI. Like, how does Amazon seem to know exactly what I want to buy even before I know I want it?
Yeah.
And then there's Netflix recommending shows you might enjoy based on your watch history.
Yeah. Or even Spotify, right? It's like they just know you better than you know yourself sometimes.
Exactly. These are all early examples, but it's clear that agentic AI is already having an impact.
It's already here. So this isn't just like some sci-fi fantasy.
No, not at all. And the potential is enormous.
So what else can this technology do? I mean, besides, recommending products and TV shows, what are some other things it can help with?
Okay, well, imagine an AI that not only recommends products, but actually orders them for you.
Wow.
So like your grocery list.
Yeah.
It could manage that, making sure you never run out of the essentials.
That'll be a lifesaver.
Or even things like scheduling appointments, booking travel, managing your finances. Basically anything that you can think of that's kind of time-consuming or requires a lot of mental energy,
Yeah.
agentic AI could potentially take care of it for you.
So it's like having a personal assistant who's available 24/7.
Exactly. And not just any assistant, but one that's constantly learning and getting better at what it does.
It's mind-blowing. So it sounds like we're talking about a technology that could have a huge impact on our lives.
Yeah, I think so.
But I imagine there are also challenges and potential downsides, right? I mean, anytime you have a technology this powerful, there are ethical considerations.
Yeah, for sure.
Things like data privacy and the potential for bias.
Oh, absolutely. Those are all things we need to consider very carefully.
So how do we make sure this technology is used responsibly? That's something we'll definitely need to delve into.
Right. We need to make sure it's used for good.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. We've talked about what agentic AI is, how it works, and some of its potential applications. But as you've pointed out, there are also some important challenges and ethical questions that we need to address.
Yeah, definitely. And those are things we'll be exploring in more depth in the next part of our conversation.
So stay tuned for part 2, where we'll be diving deeper into the ethical considerations, the potential risks, and how we can ensure that this powerful technology is used for good. Okay, so, we were just talking about all the amazing things that agentic AI can do.
Right.
But like with any powerful technology, there's always the flip side,
Uh-huh.
those potential risks and ethical concerns. So let's dig into that a little bit.
All right, sure.
What are some of the things that we need to be mindful of as this technology continues to develop?
Well, one of the big ones is definitely data privacy.
Yeah, that's a huge one. I mean, these systems are collecting so much data about us.
Exactly.
So how can we be sure that our information is being used responsibly and ethically?
Well, I think transparency is key.
Okay.
Companies that are using agentic AI need to be upfront about what data they're collecting,
Yeah.
how they're using it, and how they're protecting it.
Right.
And users should have control over their data, They should be able to opt out of data collection if they choose to. It's about giving people choices.
Yeah, absolutely. So transparency and control, those are really important.
Definitely.
Now, another concern I have is the potential for bias.
Right.
I mean, we've already seen examples of AI systems reflecting existing biases, often because of the data they were trained on.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So how can we prevent that from happening with agentic AI? How can we make sure it's fair and equitable for everyone?
Well, for starters, we need to make sure that the data that's used to train these systems is diverse and representative.
Okay.
We can't just feed them data that reflects existing societal biases.
Right.
And we also need to have humans in the loop providing oversight and making sure that the AI's decisions are actually fair.
So it's not just about letting the machines run wild. We need human judgment and ethical considerations built into the process.
Exactly.
So let's say you're a business owner and you're thinking, okay, this agentic AI thing sounds amazing. I want to implement it in my company.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you even begin?
Well, I think the first step is to figure out what your objectives are.
Okay.
What do you actually want to achieve with agentic AI? Is it about improving the customer experience, optimizing your marketing campaigns, streamlining your internal processes?
Yeah, you need a clear goal in mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the technology itself is just a tool. It's not a solution in and of itself.
So you're saying it's not just about jumping on the AI bandwagon. You need a strategy.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And once you know what you want to achieve, you can start looking at the different tools and technologies that are available.
Okay, so there are platforms out there specifically for agentic AI.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole ecosystem of AI platforms. Like you've got IBM Watson, Google AI, Microsoft Azure.
I've heard of those.
Each one has its own strengths and weaknesses, so you need to choose the one that's right for your specific needs.
Right, so it's not one size fits all.
Not at all.
Okay, so let's say you've figured out your goals, you've chosen your platform.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Data.
Data.
Agentic AI runs on data.
Okay.
You need to have good quality, clean, accurate, well-organized data to train these systems.
Got it.
If you feed them garbage data, you're going to get garbage results.
Yeah, so it's like the saying garbage in, garbage out. It applies to AI as well.
It definitely does.
But even with good data and the right platform, this all sounds pretty complicated.
It can be, yeah.
Any advice for businesses that are just starting out?
Well, don't try to do everything at once.
Okay.
Start small. Pick one specific area of your business where you think agentic AI could make a real difference.
Okay.
Maybe it's customer service or maybe it's marketing.
Yeah.
Run a pilot project, see what works, what doesn't.
Right.
Learn from that experience, and then scale up gradually.
So kind of like dipping your toes in the water before diving head first?
Exactly. You don't want to get overwhelmed.
What about ongoing maintenance?
That's crucial.
Once you've got these systems up and running, is it just set it and forget it?
Not at all.
Okay.
These systems need to be monitored and maintained. You got to make sure they're performing well, make adjustments as needed.
Okay.
You need to keep tweaking and fine-tuning things as you go. It's an ongoing process.
And I imagine you need a certain level of expertise to do all of this, right? I mean, not every business has a team of data scientists on staff.
That's true.
So what are some options for companies that don't have that in-house expertise?
Well, you could partner with an AI consultant,
Okay.
or you could use a cloud-based AI platform. A lot of those have pretty user-friendly interfaces.
So there are ways to get started even if you don't have a deep technical background.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the technical side of things, but what about the human side?
Oh, that's huge.
how do we prepare our workforce for a future where AI plays a more prominent role?
Well, I think it's important to remember that agentic AI is a tool.
Okay.
It's not meant to replace humans. It's meant to help us.
Right, so it's about augmenting human capabilities,
Exactly.
not about replacing humans altogether.
Right. So instead of being afraid of losing our jobs to robots, we should be thinking about how we can work alongside AI to be more productive, more efficient, and more creative.
So it's about collaboration, not competition.
Exactly.
So what are some skills that you think are going to be especially important in this new world of human AI collaboration?
Well, critical thinking, that's always going to be valuable.
Hmm.
Problem solving, creativity, emotional intelligence.
A uniquely human skill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the ability to work effectively in teams, because you're going to be working with both humans and AI.
It's fascinating to think that as AI becomes more advanced, those human skills become even more important.
I think so, too.
So it's not about trying to outsmart machines. It's about figuring out how we can work together to create a better future for everyone.
I agree. And recognizing that the future is not set in stone.
Okay.
It's something that we're actively creating through the choices that we make today.
It's empowering to think that we have a say in how this technology shapes our world.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been an incredibly insightful conversation. We've covered so much ground, from data privacy and bias to implementation tips and the future of work. I'm really excited to see how agentic AI continues to evolve and what impact it has on our lives in the years to come.
Me too. It's an exciting time to be alive.
It really is. Okay, so we've talked about what agentic AI is, how it works, and some of the challenges we need to be aware of. But now I want to look ahead. What's next for agentic AI? What can we expect to see in the future?
Yeah. The possibilities really are pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
One area that I think has huge potential is personalized learning.
Oh, yeah, education. That's a great example.
Imagine a world where education is tailored to each individual student.
So not like the one-size-fits-all approach we have now.
Exactly. With agentic AI, you can have these AI tutors that adapt to your learning style,
Yeah.
your pace, and your strengths and weaknesses.
That's amazing. So it's like having a personal tutor for every student.
Yeah, pretty much. The AI could analyze your learning patterns, see where you're excelling, where you're struggling, and then adjust the curriculum accordingly.
Wow. So it's like custom-designed education for everyone.
Exactly. It could really revolutionize the way we learn.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What about other areas? Where else do you see agentic AI having a major impact?
Well, I think smart cities are another really interesting area to watch.
Smart cities?
Yeah. Imagine cities that are optimized for efficiency, sustainability, and livability.
Okay, how so? What would that look like?
Well, think about traffic management.
Okay.
You could have AI systems that control traffic signals in real time, adjusting them to optimize traffic flow and reduce congestion.
So no more rush hour nightmares.
Well, hopefully a lot less.
Yeah.
And then there's energy consumption. AI could manage smart grids, balancing energy supply and demand to minimize waste and reduce our carbon footprint.
So it's not just about convenience, it's also about sustainability.
Exactly. And public safety could be enhanced as well. AI-powered surveillance systems could help prevent crime and keep our cities safer.
It sounds like a futuristic utopia.
Well, it's definitely a vision of the future that a lot of people are working towards.
It's exciting to think about all the positive changes that AI could bring about.
Definitely.
But, we have to be realistic, too. Yeah. There are also potential downsides.
Oh, for sure.
One of the big ones that people worry about is job displacement.
Right. The idea that robots are going to take over all the jobs.
Exactly. So how do we address that concern? How do we prepare for a future where AI plays such a significant role in the workforce?
Well, I think it's important to remember that AI is not meant to replace humans entirely.
Okay.
It's more about collaboration. AI can handle those repetitive, mundane tasks that no one really wants to do anyway, freeing up humans to focus on more creative, strategic, and interpersonal work, the kind of work that requires those uniquely human skills that AI just can't replicate.
So instead of fearing the robots, we should be thinking about how we can work alongside them.
Yeah, find those areas where humans and AI can complement each other. And I think that shift is actually going to create new job opportunities.
Oh, interesting. In what areas?
Well, we're going to need people who can develop AI systems, people who can implement them and manage them, and people who can oversee them and make sure they're being used ethically.
So there's a whole new industry emerging around AI.
Absolutely. And it's an industry that's going to need a lot of skilled workers.
So it's not just about tech skills, right? What other kinds of skills are going to be important in this new AI-powered world?
Well, like we were saying earlier, those uniquely human skills like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, emotional intelligence.
Those are always going to be in demand.
Exactly. And adaptability, the ability to learn new things quickly and adjust to change. That's going to be more important than ever before.
It sounds like this is going to require a pretty significant shift in the way we think about education and workforce development.
Yeah, for sure. We need to start preparing people for these new roles,
Mhm.
help them develop those skills that are going to be in high demand.
It's exciting to think about all the
It
possibilities.
really is.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of agentic AI. We've covered a lot of ground, from how it works to the ethical considerations to the future of work. And I have to say, I'm really optimistic about the potential of this technology to make our lives better, to make our businesses more efficient, and to create a more sustainable future.
Me too. It's an exciting time to be working in this field.
It really is. And for all of you listening out there, I hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of what agentic AI is and what it means for the future. Keep learning, keep exploring, and let's shape this future together. Thanks for joining us.